In the United States, the government runs on a two-party system. This means that there are two main political parties, or groups of people with similar beliefs about how the country should be run. These two parties are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They often compete in elections in order to control the government, and each party has different ideas about what laws should be made and how the country should be managed. But why does the US use a two-party system when so many other countries seem to have many political parties? Especially when some Americans may feel that their values or ideas they believe in that make them who they are and needs are not being fully met by either party. Or say they feel like they have to support one party or the other to support the least bad of two bad options when they vote. I mean, honestly, there is no rule of law that requires the U.S. government to operate under a two-party system, and in fact, the party system itself is never even referred to within the Constitution. But there are some big reasons that the Republican and Democratic parties maintain control. Because of our voting process. In most U.S. elections, the candidate with the most votes wins. This is because of a system called plurality, sometimes called first past the post, where the person with the highest number of votes wins, even if it's less than 50%. This can make small party voters feel like their vote is going to be wasted. Even if they add support to the party they really like, that party will rarely get enough votes to win. For example, if there are three parties running, and one party gets 40% of the votes, that person wins, even though 60% of other voters pick someone else to win. And people fear splitting the vote. In some elections, small party voters may feel like their vote will result in a win for the candidate they like the least. This is called splitting the vote. In a U.S. election, it happens when a third-party candidate takes votes away from one main Republican or Democratic candidate. As a result, the votes are divided between them, which can help either the Democratic or Republican candidate to win, even if they don't have the most support overall. It's called splitting the vote because it divides the votes between more than one candidate. Often people who follow smaller parties will join with larger or more well-known parties in order to stop this from happening. Some examples of smaller parties working together can be seen when members of the Tea Party movement from 2009 to 2016 merged with members of the MAGA movement from 2016 to now by voting under the Republican Party. Or when members of the Green Party from 1991 to now and Democratic Socialist Party from 1982 to now vote under the Democratic Party in their different presidential elections. Additionally, the two-party system is made stronger by U.S. having a bicameral system, which means Congress is divided into two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. This helps balance the representation between the population and the states. Parties want to have enough people in Congress on their side so they can control the way laws and policies get approved. The House and Senate both have a majority and minority that show which party has more control or more members elected to work there. Wanting to keep this majority spot encourages smaller parties to work together under either the Republican or Democratic side. If the U.S. used a system called proportional representation, or where seats in Congress are given based on percentage of votes each party gets, there would probably be many different political parties in Congress today. And additionally, we inherit our political party. Many Americans vote for the political party that their parents, grandparents, social sphere, political network, or friends vote for. They may feel because that party shares the same values and has the same ideas with what they're comfortable with. Actually, a recent study by the American Survey Center found that 46% of Americans who were raised by parents who voted for Democrats claim to be Democrats themselves, and 43% of Americans raised by parents who voted Republican are now Republicans as adults. So people may feel worried that if they don't vote in the same way as their family and peers, that they will lose their relationships, their job, their friend group, their social standing, or opportunities. It's called peer pressure, remember? We learned about that when we were kids, and it affects adults too. So while the two-party system has been the most common for most of American history, there are still many small political parties or political movements that exist in the United States today, and some that you may have heard of are things like the Green Party, the Democratic Socialist Party, or even the Libertarian Party. If this video was useful to you, please feel free to subscribe and share, and come over here and join us on the Shatterpoint, where we're breaking down civics and government and political type things into common, easy to understand language.